Over and out.
Peter, if you want me to run your little camping trip, there are two conditions. Firstly, I'm in charge, and when I'm not around, Dieter is. All you need to do is sign the checks, tell us we're doing a good job, and open your case of scotch when we have a good day. Second condition, my fee. You can keep it. All I want in exchange for my services is the right to hunt one of the tyrannosaurs. A male, a buck only. How and why are my business. Now, if you don't like either of those two conditions, you're on your own. So go ahead, set up base camp right here, or in a swamp, or in the middle of a wreck's nest, for all I care. But I've been on too many safaris with rich dentists to listen to any more suicidal ideas. Okay.
To the Perfect Movie Podcast, the podcast where we answer the question, is this a perfect movie? I'm Michael.
I'm Kalen.
And today, we're continuing our Steven Spielberg summer series. We just did Jurassic Park, and now we're doing Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World.
Oh, my God.
It's a sequel.
Yeah.
Does that mean it'll be bigger and better?
Maybe.
Maybe.
We should go watch it right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're back. It sucked.
Okay, so this movie, I haven't seen it, I think, since I was a kid. And I think as a kid, I probably even liked it, as I would have liked like the prequel Star Wars movies, because it has more of the action,
yes,
quote unquote.
More dinosaurs.
More dinosaurs. More dinosaur stuff.
More people.
And I was not alone, because I was on IMDb reading some, or on Wikipedia actually, reading some stuff. And this is part of the writing process of Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World, which there's also a novel by Michael Crichton. And it has a couple of the key things in this movie, but a lot of them are reshuffled, and details are reshuffled in the movie compared to the book.
Yeah.
So the main ideas that the movie took was that there's the secondary island that it has dinosaurs that have kind of overrun it.
Isla Nublar?
Yeah, something like that. And it is a place where they were growing the dinosaurs and then shipping them to Jurassic Park.
It's a game preserve. Yep.
It gets abandoned, and there's competing groups that go to with different motivations that go back to the island.
What is
in the sequel
the group called again?
InGen?
InGen, yes.
Which is Hammond's company,
which makes a return in Jurassic World.
But in this movie, it's like competing factions. There's been sort of a hostile takeover by the board, and Hammond is out, and Hammond sends Ian Malcolm, our returning Jeff Goldblum character, and Ian Malcolm's girlfriend, which is a character we haven't met, which is kind of ironic considering that he was just trying to hit on Laura Dern all the last movie.
Yeah.
Is apparently already on the island, we find out, and there's like a group of 4 that goes as Hammond's group, and then a massive sort of militant group that arrives soon after that is InGen's main group. But in the writing process, in the adaptation, the writer, I guess, was reading letters of recommendation, largely from children, for the second movie, which is funny considering that this one's even more horrific and dark and grim than, than the first Jurassic Park. He said, Cop received letters of advice from children who were interested in the film. According to Cop, one letter read, as long as you have the T-Rex and the Velociraptor, everything else is fine. But whatever you do, don't have a long, boring part at the beginning that has nothing to do with the island. Which I feel like is the entire thing that shoots this movie in the foot.
Yeah.
Is because we get on the island real fast and get to the dinosaurs pretty fast.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty loosey-goosey with setting up. There's a daughter of Jeff Goldblum that we meet for the first time, and we have like half a scene.
Yeah, you kind of meet the guys, you kind of get like a little synopsis of what they're about, what they're doing, and then you're, boom, on the island. Yeah.
And just, it's immediately like, the first time we see the dinosaurs, there's like half a second of awe, and then they're immediately a threat.
Well,
when you see
at
the Stegosaurus.
first- oh yeah, the Stegosaurus were like mad aggressive. Yeah.
Because that's, I think, the first time we see him
Yeah.
when they land on the island, and it's just a movie that it has lots of dinosaur stuff. Some of which I think has also the same flaws, where it's like, where did that dinosaur come from?
Yeah.
But it's harder to excuse because I'm just not infatuated with any of these characters at all.
No.
Jeff Goldblum has gotten just weird and unrecognizable from the person that he was before. Like, his smarm and charm is mostly gone, and he's just a guy that runs around and goes, don't do that. Dinosaurs are dangerous.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been there, done that, though. So it kind of makes sense for his character, or maybe he's matured a little bit since the original incident. And then it's like, okay, well, this shit we shouldn't be fucking with, and...
Sure, but then he shouldn't be the main character.
Yeah,
If that's
right.
all they're going to give us, and they're going to change
Right.
him so dramatically, like, there's no person for me to latch onto and be like, this is the person I care about in this movie.
Yeah.
It's not his girlfriend, who, Julianne Moore, a very talented actress, but the role written for her is just like this harebrained mix of, like, sometimes she's the dumbest person in the room, and sometimes she's the smartest
Yeah,
person in the room,
yeah.
and I never know which one she's going to be at any given moment.
Right.
Like, when she just goes running at the Stegosaurs and puts herself at immediate risk at the beginning
Well,
of the
it's
movie.
like, let's bring a baby T-Rex into our camper.
Yeah.
Things are highly aggressive, and they're territorial, and you got their baby.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to come for you.
Right.
Apex predators. Come on, man. Yeah.
We have Vince Vaughn, who's like some Greenpeace militant, I guess. But
He's also like a spy. Like, he was like, they sent me for whatever, and then he just like picks locks and like,
that's what he said. The when they find him, they're like, you're one of those Greenpeace terrorists or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, this guy's maybe built a bomb before, but I don't know. He's kind of here and there, and mostly a plot point.
yeah.
He's a guy to have gum to chew, to spit in Julianne Moore's hand in that one scene.
Right. Yeah, essentially. Yeah. And then you got our guy, I forget what other movie. He's in a couple other things.
Talking about Pete Postlethwaite, the hunter, or
No,
someone
I'm
else?
talking about there's another guy that's in their group, and he's like the engineer guy. He
Yeah.
makes all the stuff, or he sets everything up.
Our first
and
casualty.
Who gets murdered. Like, it's pretty fucking graphic, the way he dies. But yeah, RP that guy.
So the two groups arrive on the island, and pretty soon after they end up together, and they're kind of just together from that point on. And then there's this final point, which is not in the book. The book ends as they leave the island.
The Godzilla shit.
Yeah, and I guess during production, Steven Spielberg was just like, I don't think I'm doing a third sequel, and this is an idea I wanted in the third sequel, but I want to do it right now. I want to do T-Rex makes it to the mainland.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of 20 minutes of, like, it's semi-interesting, but not really, of, like, what happened with the T-Rex on the mainland.
Yeah.
And don't get me started on the how he arrives.
Which made no sense.
It makes no sense at all. And the questions you keep asking are questions you don't ask of Jurassic Park because you're invested. You care if they live or die.
Yeah.
But when you don't, oh, man. It's just kind of a chore to
Yeah.
get through, honestly.
Yeah. I think the dinosaur stuff is still kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think the effects weren't terrible. They still did that blend of like animatronic CGI kind of thing.
I think they went heavier on CGI.
They did. Especially with like the T-Rex and stuff, because you see full body T-Rex. He's still like shrouded in darkness, so it looks good. It looks good.
Not one, but two.
Yeah, there's two of them this time. Ooh.
Jurassic Park 2!
Two T-Rexes? They should have put two T-Rexes in the logo.
It was the performance of a lifetime!
Let's jump into the performance test. There is a stacked cast, mostly like people who really don't have much to do. Not a lot going on with them, but let's move on.
Okay, so we have Jeff Goldblum, who we've covered a bit. It just feels like he's kind of been shoehorned to fit the reluctant parent, because every movie needs one, I guess.
Except this time it's his actual kid that he wants no part of. So
Yeah, which is funny because the whole reason his kid is a black girl is because Steven Spielberg has adopted a couple of black children, which if we're drawing that parallel, that also means Steven Spielberg wants nothing to do with his children.
but he's so progressive, isn't he? I mean, it's much like Red Tails in that aspect.
It is.
Red Tails with dinosaurs would be a sick movie. Like they're doing.
They're shooting them from this.
No,
sky?
they're in the planes, and then they got the pterodactyls and stuff. That'd be pretty sick.
They're fighting the pterodactyls
In planes. That'd be pretty awesome. Anyways.
Okay. Who do you want to talk about as far as actors?
Julianne Moore. I think we talked about her a little bit. She was fine. She's a great actress. She's in a lot of quality films. She was in the sequel to The Silence of the Lambs. Mm-hmm. She was in a bunch of stuff in the 90s. She's kind of dropped off the radar as of recent. Haven't seen her in a lot of stuff. Sometimes I get her mixed up with Furiosa actor.
Charlize Theron?
Yeah, sometimes I get her mixed up. But she's a great actress. I don't think she had, like you were saying, her character was just kind of all over the place. She wasn't very, she wasn't making good decisions, and then also she just wasn't that interesting. But she was also trying to be like Laura Dern's character.
But it's also like after watching Jurassic Park, I'm like, who is this woman?
Yeah, for sure.
Ian Malcolm was just hitting on Laura Dern the whole last movie.
Yeah.
He has a girlfriend now? I guess we care about her.
Well, how many years after the initial...
I think it's supposed to be like things in his life
time.
could have changed,
Yeah.
but it is more just like, as far as the audience is concerned, the last time we saw this guy, he was just the horniest man ever. And I don't think it does the legwork for me to care about either his daughter or his girlfriend.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then you have like people like Pete Postlewaite. He plays the hunter character. He is just kind of there too. There's a lot of characters that are just kind of there, and he's a part of this engine group, but he wants to bag a buck. He wants to hunt a T-Rex, basically just for bragging rights. And so that's his whole motivation in the entire film. And then towards the end, I guess his brother dies, is killed by a velociraptor, and then he's like, was it worth it? No, it wasn't really worth it. You know, it's that kind of thing. Yeah, he was fine. Richard Attenborough makes an appearance again, and he's still an asshole.
Hey, buddy, go to my dinosaur island again.
And I sent your girlfriend, so you have to go.
Yeah.
It's basically a suicide mission, but, good luck. Yeah. Also, an appearance by the two kids from the original film. They're back, and they're a little bit older, which is fine, I guess.
Well, they're just in and out. They
have that one scene. I don't think you really needed it, but it's fine.
Do you feel like, and I just didn't like this movie, I guess, it feels like there's a lot of attempts at humor that just fall flat.
And I think that was Vince Vaughn's character was supposed to be the comic relief, kind of. He had like a few one-liners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even, I guess Vince Vaughn does say the line, but like one that didn't make any sense to me. I mean, it's supposed to be doing thing for a character. It's supposed to be making a point, but it's just so ham-fisted. It made me cringe. So everybody's trekking. The two groups have combined. Everybody's trekking through the jungle, and they take a break. Pete Postlewaite's character goes off in search of the guy from Fargo who dies.
Yes. Yeah.
And then it's another Pete. It's Peter Stormare.
Yeah.
He goes in search of him, and then so it's just the main InGen guy who's this like nerdy type of guy is there, and he goes, "All right, everybody up, time to go, let's go," and nobody listens to him. And then and then Vince Vaughn goes, "Hey, everybody, let's get the hell out of here," and everybody listens, and I'm like, "Wow, oh, we get it. Nobody likes this guy. Thanks, good job.
We like this guy because he's cool."
When, like, in reality, none of these guys are employed. They're employed by one guy. And whether they like him or not, I don't think they would listen to Vince Vaughn either if they didn't want to go.
No. And then, you have that character, which is the guy who's trying to make another park, but this time it's in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. And that's his whole motivation. He's basically John Hammond again. And I think that was even pointed out where Jeff Goldblum was like, "Now you're John Hammond," or whatever. And I was like, okay, that's fine. It's basically just, it's almost like a remake, essentially.
I mean, if you're taking the writer being like, and he was like, "Yeah, that was my right-hand guide, was the child that mailed me and said, don't do boring stuff and get to the island." The whole movie feels like, all right, hurry up, let's get to the dinosaurs. And now it's like various dinosaur set pieces.
Yeah.
Stitched together by like the lightest plotting, which it's also just redoing the stuff that we had in Jurassic Park, where it's just people go to the island. There's a tropical storm. The tropical storm cuts off the communications from the island.
Yeah.
Now they are stuck. Now they need to go and travel. Well, in Jurassic Park, The Lost World, they need to go and travel to the thing to reset the island. In Jurassic Park, I guess they're already in their headquarters, and only Samuel L. Jackson needs to go die to go
yeah.
restart it. But it's just like so paint by numbers, like copying the work of the previous movie, where it's just kind of like, let's just run it back again, but this time it's just a little darker.
But I think I like the kind of the aspect of these two factions kind of going at it. They're trying to get DNA or get the dinosaurs for different reasons. It could be military wise. I know, like in the Jurassic World, they're trying to weaponize the velociraptors because that's a good idea.
Can you imagine a velociraptor in Afghanistan?
Yes, it would be hilarious. But you have stuff like that, and I think that could be interesting. But then again, it's like the execution was off. I still think you kind of feel a little bit of the magic of the original. It still feels like Jurassic Park, which I think is sorely missing in the Jurassic World movies. There's just like a certain feel of those older films that they kind of meld together. And even the third one, I don't know if you've seen that.
I've seen it. I don't remember it.
Also, another Coen Brothers guy is in that.
It's got William H. Macy in that one kid.
Yeah, but so from that aspect, I think it's still like it's a good jumping off point from Jurassic Park, but then again, it's like you're missing the characters, you're missing the heart and the soul of it. The awe factor is kind of there sometimes, but it's still like it's essentially a monster flick, and it just kind of loses that humanity a little bit, even though you have all these characters. Maybe we should jump into It's an Art, because I do want to talk about a few key scenes that I did like.
Okay.
But as far as performance tests, it's a stacked cast. There's a ton of characters, but there's not a lot of character.
Yeah, I agree. So we can get into It's an Art, Bro, where we talk about the aspects of the filmmaking process, like sets, effects, lighting, music.
What's this?
It's an art project.
Okay, I like it. Picasso. Yeah, that way.
I do want to talk about the Velociraptor scene when they first appear. I love that scene where they're running through the tall grass, and you get that great line from the guy, "Don't run through the tall grass." He's like screaming that out, and nobody's listening, and people get picked off one by one by Velociraptors, and you can't see anything. You can't see the Velociraptors unless they jump out. That's a great scene, great tension in that scene. It was very horror-esque, and I loved it. The Velociraptor stuff is just kind of great. I love the Velociraptor stuff in this movie. I loved it in the original. Velociraptors are great monsters because of how fucking aggressive they are and how agile they are. It's just, you can make great set pieces with those creatures. And so I think that's one thing from the original that translated very well into this. I actually prefer this Velociraptor scene from the one in the original. I just thought it was great. It was really well done, and it was a lot of tension.
I remember everyone roasting Chris Pratt riding a motorcycle next to a bunch of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And there's that in this movie.
Riding vehicles
At the very beginning when they're doing the when they rope up the one, where they catch the one dinosaur.
But the dinosaurs weren't on his side.
No.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like
They weren't his crew.
Yeah. He was like this dinosaur go this way. And then one dinosaur went
to the left.
Stupid. Yeah. A lot of the dinosaur stuff is fine. And I think you kind of needed that for a sequel. You needed more. You know, most sequels they do the bigger stuff. And I was fine.
I need more of the cowboy paleontologist expert that was with the bad guy group. Because every time he said something, I was like, this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he was like, it's Pachycephalosaurus.
He's like, this is a pachydermia. You see how their spine and their head aligns?
yeah. And you just see one guy get wrecked by the fucking...
Pachycephalosaurus. Carnivore? Huh? No. Herbivore. Late Cretaceous. See that distinctive dome skull? 9 inches of solid bone. Now careful. See, the Pachy's neck attaches at the bottom of its skull instead of the back of its head as with reptiles. But when it lowers its head, its neck lines up directly with its backbone, which is perfect for absorbing impact.
Case and point.
RP all those guys who are probably not getting paid very well to do this.
No, shout out to the guy just listening to like loud Mexican music.
Yeah, he was listening to like whatever the band, the
Play some
mariachi.
bachata. Yeah, he's listening to mariachi and like letting people die.
Oh, we did talk about the little dinosaurs. The little compies or whatever they're called. A little girl gets murdered. Well, she doesn't get murdered.
She's fine. She's fine.
She's fine. No, she's fine. She just got ripped to pieces, but she's okay.
Just lots of little bite marks.
Yeah. That's our opening of this film, which leads into a very awkward transition into Jeff Goldblum's character.
I think that's a great transition.
You thought that was a great transition.
I think it's funny.
Well, yeah, it was funny. I was just like, I don't know what they were thinking.
It goes from the mom screaming at the sight of like 20 tiny dinosaurs attacking an 8-year-old.
And then it cuts to Jeff Goldblum, and you're like, is he on the island? Is he doing something to his little girl? I mean, it would be in his character.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there's that great scene with the guy from Fargo who gets moidled by those little creatures, and that's a pretty tense scene. And yeah, I thought that was fine.
I thought we were going to find out they were all like velociraptor toddlers because they kept like cutting them off from going to certain areas, and I thought they were like trying to guide them back to the raptor nest or something.
Mommy. Yeah,
something like that.
That would have been
I was wanting something a little more clever, I guess. I'd forgotten what happens in that movie, and then he just ducks behind a log and then turns into red
and then you
water.
see the blood.
But I'm like, where did he go?
He got eaten up so quick. Did you like the whole dinosaur breakout scene? Where they did the heist, or they broke the dinosaurs out of the little cages, and then dinosaurs.
I did like the dinosaurs ransacking the camp.
The InGen people, yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. There's some fun scenes. I like the dinosaur who peeked into the tent, or the T-Rex who peeked into the tent.
But that was another scene for me where I was like, is this the dumbest woman in the world? She she has all this knowledge allegedly because she is an expert, and that's why she's there to study the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And she tells the man who's like Pete Postlethwaite's like, oh, are you injured?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh no, that's just baby T-Rex blood. And she also earlier in the movie tells them, oh, we need to be sure that they aren't tracking us via scent, so we need to start moving this way. But she's still wearing her
bloody shirt.
Her bloody shirt from when she was, dealing with the baby T-Rex.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I guess it's something you can overlook in a stressful situation, but also it feels like a lot of this movie has a lot of conveniences.
Yeah.
To be like, well, let's have a dinosaur peek through a thing again and do the thing again.
I actually thought the first scene with the T-Rex where the T-Rex goes to the camper, that's a great scene.
Okay, it is the scene I remembered being the most memorable, but I just have questions about it.
There's a lot of continuities.
I have questions about why did this dinosaur push it all the way until it's almost entirely going to fall off?
And not just push it off.
And not just push it off the cliff.
Well, because he got distracted by the other guy.
Push it to dangle just right. And then I also have the question of, so she falls into the bottom of the back of this trailer. Have you ever seen the back of a trailer made of glass?
Possibly.
No, you haven't. Trailer doors are never glass.
Oh, okay. Well, then you wouldn't get the tense scene where the glass is cracking.
I'm just like, when did this trailer? I want to look back because I'm like, that looks so ridiculous to have a floor-to-ceiling plane of glass on the back of your trailer. Yeah. Like you get in a car accident and that shatters immediately.
Yeah. Seriously.
It doesn't make any sense once it's happening. And these are just the questions I'm asking myself because I was like, I'm just not invested in this movie at all.
I did like when they were in the like little high-rise thing or whatever, the little elevator that goes into the trees, and they're like all talking, and then you hear the T-Rex. You're like, oh shit.
I like as they approach and as that scene starts, and then I just remember, and then as it's happening, I'm like, oh, where did the dinosaur go? I guess they just run off as soon as it's just as precarious.
They're like, we're good now. We had our little snack. We're good. We got our baby.
We just wanted to scare these cats.
Don't ever do that to my kid again.
Don't ever fix his broken leg again. But I do love like when they show up and you realize there's two of them and they're both like peering in the windows and they're trying to.
You get the little iris thing with the flashlight or whatever.
Yeah.
isn't hunting behavior, Ian. No hunting. They're searching. They came for their infant.
Let's not disappoint them.
I thought the whole San Francisco scene, like with the T-Rex, was absolutely stupid.
Daddy, there's a dinosaur outside. This would cut to the Transformers hiding outside Sam Witwicky's house.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? How are these dinosaurs so stealthy?
That whole sequence felt like an entirely different movie. They also did something really racist. They had like Asian people running away from the T-Rex, and they like specifically like focused on these 3 Asian characters running away, and it was supposed to be like Godzilla, I think. And I just was like, that is so distasteful. Who thought that was a good idea? It was a different time. It was the 90s. Come on.
Can we talk about the T-Rex's impossible arrival to San Diego?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a ghost ship scenario.
Yeah.
Right? So the big boss has gone ahead, and he's doing his press conference, and he's like, InGen is about to start our new big arrival, and we're going to open our place nearby, and there's a bunch of press at the end of the dock. And then a guy comes up, and he's like, sir, you better come see the control panel. And he's like, yeah, I'm hailing the ship that the T-Rex is on, and nobody's talking. And it just keeps sailing and sailing, and nobody arrives, and it crashes into the dock. And then they go on board the ship. And then on the ship, there's a bloody hand attached to the steering wheel. There's a bloody hand attached to the button that closes this like loading dock area or whatever, holds the thing shut. And if you just think about it for 2 seconds, how does a T-Rex murder anyone inside without smashing the entire like outside of the bridge?
Yeah,
because the bridge is intact.
I thought it was like, were they going to have velociraptors running around too?
Because that would make more sense, because they could get into those areas.
Yeah.
But instead, somehow this man who is dismembered from his hands was dismembered by the T-Rex, but also managed to trap the T-Rex inside this
little
containment area in the back of the boat. So somehow this man is getting bitten and removed from his hands at the same time that the T-Rex is getting caught in the back of the boat. How does that work?
I think initially they wanted more dinosaurs running around.
Yeah.
And I think it was going to be velociraptors who were on the ship. Is something along the lines of that. And they just didn't go through with it. And so, yeah, huge continuity error. Number one, it was like that didn't make sense to me as a kid. I remember that. Like why the fuck is the guy's hand severed on the ship steering wheel?
Yeah,
it made no sense. But yeah,
and then it's being quiet the whole time, because if you remember the baby T-Rex, when it's stuck somewhere, it's whining. The whole time.
Yeah.
But
no, the baby T-Rex wasn't there.
No. But I'm saying when the large T-Rex is trapped under something, just quiet as a mouse.
Yeah.
Just waiting for the moment that somebody presses the button to go.
It was like, and then
I want the cut to the T-Rex hiding under there, like rubbing its little hands together. Like, these guys have no idea I'm down here.
Puts his finger, there's like a fourth wall break, puts his little finger up to his mouth like shh. And it was like the dumbass police officer is like, okay, well, let me just keep pushing the button. But then and then you have the scene of the T-Rex running through San Francisco, breaking shit and eating people, and he like focused on this one guy with glasses that got like viciously murdered. The whole sequence was awful.
Yeah, and this is where I think I might unveil my this is my metaphor of the comparison between Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park 2. So, kids' earmuffs. This is not a safe section for the children. All right, so the Jurassic Park 1, that's making love. There's foreplay involved. You know, we're taking time to get to the business.
Okay.
You know, and then once you get there, it's a wonderful act. Everybody's happy. Applause.
Satisfied.
Finish.
Yeah.
Okay. Jurassic Park 2 is just fucking. You know? It's like, we know what we're here for.
It's like
pants down, let's go.
Whiskey dick.
Yeah, like it's like let's get to the island right away. I feel like that's like we're skipping the foreplay. We're going all the way. We're going right away.
Yeah.
And by the time you're done, you're just kind of disgusted, and you're like, I don't know if this is a
either
good
that
choice.
or you pass out because you've been drunk.
You go to sleep, or you have some regret.
You didn't even finish.
Yeah. That was me watching this movie. I didn't finish.
That is a great analogy.
And that's just what it feels like. It just feels like we know what we're here for. Dinosaurs. Let's go.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I didn't hate it. I'll say that. I didn't hate it. It's watchable for sure, I think.
I'm on the other side of the fence. I kind of hated it. And I was like, oh, the BS started here. Jurassic Park never had a good sequel.
No.
There's never any good sequels.
No.
In fact, I think Jurassic World, in hindsight, might be the second best Jurassic Park movie.
I haven't
The
seen
reboot
that
one.
in a long time.
I haven't seen it in a
I
long
just
time
remember
either.
hating all the Jurassic World stuff.
I just felt like that movie at least had a little of the wonder. I think that's what I was missing.
Well,
That
yeah.
movie does have a little
it had
bit
a
of wonder.
full-fledged park and, you know.
It's doing well at first.
Yeah.
This one is just like murder, murder, kill, kill.
Yeah, it tries to go the real dark route, you know.
Or when Cowboy Guy has the snake go down his shirt, which I guess is venomous, but then he runs directly into T-Rex's mouth.
Yeah.
Seems like a
Well, he freaked out over a snake. It's like you have bigger things to worry about.
classic Spielberg.
Yeah.
You don't like snakes.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I don't like snakes either, but you know, you're also a scientist who's supposed to be level-headed. And,
But he wears a cowboy hat, which means
so he's
dumb.
yeah. Yeah.
Shorthand for stupid. What do you think about the gymnastics kick?
I thought it was hilarious.
Does she talk about gymnastics earlier in the
She
movie?
does, and I think she was saying she missed tryouts or something.
Yeah.
But she was like Simone Biles in that shit. You know what I mean?
was
And
going
she
crazy.
she kicked the shit out of that little Velociraptor.
The Velociraptor was just admiring her. She was like, "Whoa, flip,
Well, yeah,
flip,
continue.
flip, whoa."
Continue. I'm just gonna stand right here.
He was reaching behind his back to get that 10 out of 10 card, you know? And then he got kicked out the window.
And Velociraptors have longer arms, so they could have did that.
And they could have.
Yeah.
That's where they keep everything. In the pocket.
And they're little.
They have a pocket in the back. It's not in the fossil record because it's all flesh.
So Velociraptors are actually small creatures.
Smaller than that.
Yeah, they're tiny. They're almost like
They're closer to the ones that eat Peter Stormare than they are.
Yeah,
to
they were like the size of cats. They weren't very big, or house cats at least.
Do you think my house cat could take on a Velociraptor? 'Cause
Probably.
I think maybe
She's pretty vicious.
One, she could. Two, she might have a problem. But one, it'd be an even fight.
Yeah.
Same weight class.
Yeah, for sure. But I think they could also glide or something. They had wings. Something like that. I don't know. I saw a documentary. But anyways, that's another gripe. This is pretty much just let the hate flow through. That's another gripe is that they were not scientifically accurate again.
Okay, so dinosaurs come back to life, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You're stuck in an island with dinosaurs. What are you doing?
What am I doing?
What are you doing? You're in this situation. You're Jeff Goldblum, let's say.
I'm just trying to fuck.
You're just like Julianne Moore. Julianne Moore! Okay. Okay, mariachi guy.
Listen, I know there's dinosaurs around. They got a lot of sharp teeth, but you know what else is sharp? This dick.
Not an advertising thing, I don't think. I don't think that's the line.
Them teeth might pierce you, but...
I just think, choices were made. Yeah, I hate this movie. I just hated every decision everyone made. It felt like the island section. It was like, hurry up and get to the island. And the island section's just like spinning plates. And then it's like, we're going to San Diego. And I'm like, why do I care?
I think it had the right thing. I think the plot was serviceable, and I think they had
You know how I know I hated this movie? Because they bring in the score, and I'm like, turn that off.
You don't deserve that score.
They start playing like the Jurassic Park theme toward the end. I'm like, no,
No.
nothing magical happened this whole movie. Everyone's dead, and I hate it here.
Ian Malcolm was a shell of himself.
I will continue to not speak to my children. Is the lady with Chris Pratt like Ian Malcolm's child in the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom?
The lady with Chris Pratt?
All I know is there's a black pilot lady, and
I don't think so. I know.
No, it's probably not. That would be too...
Well, the Jurassic Park...
that's racist now.
So the Jurassic World movies, and I need to get this little gripe off my chest, they suck. They are all terrible, and they feel more like fantastical, which was kind of weird because Jurassic Park was kind of always grounded. But then it's like, moving on to Jurassic World, we have like this crazy pilot lady, and we have like gene splicing crazy dinosaurs where it's like it's a mixture between this and that, and you have like the Indominus Rex, which is just like a murder machine. It's all stupid.
Yeah.
And then one thing I did like from the Jurassic World movies, they brought back that unnamed doctor, or
B.D. Wong.
Yeah,
just becomes the core character,
and he's like a villain
series.
though. I kind of like that. I was like, that's interesting. He's like John Hammond, but he's a little bit worse, and he's in
that Colin Trevorrow. He's
a smart
guy.
cookie there. The Jurassic World movies suck, and they moved away from what made the original so special. And I honestly wish that we could get some type of a remake that would go more into the horror element, much in line with the books. The books were borderline horror novels, and I wish there was like full-on gore and blood and all types of stuff, and I wish we could get something like that, but it would never happen ever because Jurassic Park is so synonymous with like children, where it's like these movies are made for kids
like dinosaurs.
Yeah, you can't make a murderous, like, you can make velociraptors scary, but you can't make them like fucking you can't do
a
blood
person
and
get
gore.
eaten and turn into a river of blood, but you cannot show the viscera.
Yeah. I wish we could go that route. I wish we could do aliens, but with dinosaurs. I wish that would be awesome. But we're never going to do that.
You said aliens. I just had a mental image. Okay, the Tyrannosaurus reaching into the waterfall in this movie.
Yeah.
The alien from Alien 3 drooling next to Ripley's face.
Yeah.
Same diff.
Yeah, it's just not as good.
They're both bad versions of their franchise.
Yeah. Although I did hear Alien Romulus is getting decent reviews, but that's early reactions, so it could change, but I've heard good things about that. Anyways, Jurassic Park World.
Jurassic Fart Lost World.
Yeah, it sucked, man. If you haven't watched it, I don't recommend.
Hey, look, I watch both these movies for free on YouTube, so if you're willing to sit through the occasional 30 to 70 second YouTube ad, it will cost you nothing.
Do you think Jurassic Park 3 is better?
I haven't seen it in a long time. It's a low bar. Jurassic Park 2 I expected to like more, and I was just like, no. I reject this I started rejecting it from the start. It's the feeding Kevin from The Office broccoli meme. They were like, more dinosaurs, and I was like, no, I don't want them.
Yeah. Well, Jurassic Park 3, I really loved it as a kid. I probably wouldn't like it as much now. But they did have more of like that horror stuff, and then it kind of went back to the roots a little bit. They stayed on the island the entire time.
I remember Spinosaurus,
and that dinosaur was pretty awesome, and it killed a T-Rex. Yeah, it was pretty sick. Yeah, maybe we'll do that sometime down the road. Not for Spielberg summer, but yeah, we'll see.
For Dinosaur December, we will be doing 5. Theodore Rex and Jurassic Park 3.
You lost a baby brother. Perfect in every way.
I had a baby brother. I had a little baby brother. And he was perfect. Perfect in every way.
We didn't answer our question, which I'm pretty sure we all know the answer of. Is this a perfect movie? No, it's not.
This is not a perfect movie.
This movie is dog shite. So yeah, don't recommend. If you want to watch it just because you've seen Jurassic Park and you haven't seen that, sure, go for it. I wouldn't recommend. It's a pretty bad time. But do you have any closing remarks or anything else to talk about?
I like that this is a Steven Spielberg project because it shows he's willing to do both. He'll make some pretty bad movies sometimes. There's a couple stinkers, especially in his recent work. But we haven't hashed out what movie we're going to do next.
Oh yeah.
What are you thinking? I have a number one choice, but I'm willing to do many things.
I mean, I'd be down for maybe like E.T. or one of the newer ones.
I was thinking Minority Report. But that's...
I have not seen that, so I mean...
You've not seen Minority Report at all?
No, never.
Okay, then we have to do Minority
Okay,
Report.
let's do it. I always think, is Forrest Gump a Spielberg movie? No, it's not.
This is a Zemeckis joint.
Okay.
You wanted to do Hook.
Oh, we could do Hook. But I think it's produced by Spielberg. I don't know if it's made by him.
No, I looked it up. You were right. It's directed by Spielberg.
Okay. I love Hook. And it's got Robin Williams, and I don't think we've done a Robin Williams film yet.
No, that's not true. We
yeah.
did Dead Poets.
Oh, yeah, we did do Dead Poets, yeah. But anyways, I love Hook, or I loved Hook growing up. We could also
I'm just shocked you haven't seen Minority Report.
No, I haven't seen that.
It's based on a Philip K. Dick novel, author of Android's Dream of Electric Sleep, which is A Dream of Electric Sheep, which is the book for Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So great sci-fi novelist. Has been involved with a lot of my favorite sci-fi films. I haven't watched Minority Report in a long time. Also has Colin Farrell.
Oh, great.
Tom
Yeah,
Cruise.
well, we have to do that.
We're gonna have to get to it eventually. Minority Report. What do you think? We could do Jaws. We could. What did you say? You said Hook.
E.T.
E.T. I mean, there's many choices.
Yeah, we'll sift through and we'll figure it out. Okay. I wanted to ask, have you watched anything recently? I know we kind of did Midsummer catch up last episode, but if you have anything else, or not last episode, but a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, which I have not released yet. I might go back and edit it. We'll see. You might never hear what we talked about during the last 20 minutes of that last episode. We'll see. So I do have some answers. I will give you 4 movies. Which one are you more interested to hear about? Well, I'll give you 4 new movies. Okay.
Go for it.
Longlegs, Abigail, Trap, Challengers.
I want to hear a little bit about Longlegs. I know we talked about this in our personal time, but I would like you to give your thoughts.
So I saw Longlegs in maybe the perfect venue, which is I randomly decided I had like a half day at work, so I leave at like about 1 o'clock, and I'm like, I'm gonna catch a matinee, and I go to this AMC that is just like, it's like the weeds are growing in the cracks of all around. You know, it's like one of those where I'm like, the earth has already taken this AMC back.
Yeah.
You know, it looks like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes of Under the Sea. So I walk in there, I get my ticket, I go to this, I'm not even in one of the main theaters, which I guarantee you I was one of like maybe 4 people watching movies in these 20 screens at the time. I like turn the corner, go to the back. It's just like so empty and desolate. I go in, the like house lights are full on until the movie starts, so it's like super bright, and I'm just the only person in there in this empty, dusty one. I go to the bathroom, I need to take a pee. There's a spider crawling up at me in the urinal.
Oh my God.
I'm like, I'm terrified. So I go in, I watch Longlegs. Longlegs is interesting because it's funny that they built this whole movie around the like Nicolas Cage reveal and everything, and he's great in the movie, and the thing that he does is a choice. I don't know how much longer it's going to be in the theater by the time this comes out, but it is a great movie, I think, to see in the theater because it really needs to demand your attention because it's a movie that's like built on building tension in all these quiet places that you won't know they're quiet until you've watched the movie. You don't know when the quiet places are and when they won't be. And it's just a movie that's really good at having a character do something, particularly our main character, and just have the camera sit there. And there's just a lot of exposed area, you know, in the back right corner. And you're like, is somebody going to walk through there?
Yeah.
Is something going to happen? Why is it staged like this?
Right.
And it just stays that way. And that happens a lot. There's twists towards the end, without fully spoiling it, that are like...
kind of stupid?
I think there's many ways to look at it. It's definitely... I mean, it's very like horror cultish, which, depending on who you are, like I think the ending of Hereditary you could read as stupid,
right?
If you're not invested in that movie, because it's like people show up and there's this weird ritual, and if you're not invested in the movie, you're just like, what the fuck is going on? I think a lot of that could also be applied to the end of this movie, where a lot of like spiritual things might be shown, or like just the real like whodunit of it all is kind of bizarre. But I just, while it's not a Stone Cold classic, I think it's a good entry into that. Like, it was pitched as sort of a Silence of the Lambs spiritual successor.
Yeah.
And it does that partially while also being more invested in the more like demonic ethereal realm.
Yeah.
So it's good.
It's not the best horror movie of the
It's
decade.
not the best horror movie of all time. It's certainly not the scariest movie of all time.
Yeah.
It is pretty like dread-inducing in certain periods, and it's dark, and I think it's well made. But if you watch any Nick Cage out of context, like if it comes out digitally and you start seeing Nick Cage clips, like it doesn't do it justice because it is like on its face, it's kind of fucking stupid what he's doing. Like he's doing like what I text you, like a glam rock washed up like pedophile Satanist doll maker.
Yeah.
And it's not even completely like, I say pedophile. It's not even really clear whether he's like,
it's like sexually motivated.
Whether it's sexually motivated or he's just
a weirdo.
A weirdo.
Yeah.
But just the way he chooses to speak.
Daddy, that gross guy is back again.
It's a weird one. I enjoyed it a lot. It's probably going to be one of my more favorite movies of the year. So it's like, I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd. It's a good movie. It is not the best horror movie ever, but it's certainly like, it gave me what I wanted, which was having seen at least one of the director's previous movies, which is Gretel and Hansel, which is it's kind of boring movie.
Is it also It Follows?
No, he's Gretel and Hansel, and he does the Black Coat's daughter.
Okay. The actress is from It Follows.
Yeah, that's the actress from It Follows.
That's one of my favorite horror movies ever.
That is a great one. But as far as like his cinematography was great in his previous film, and it's still great here. And as far as like inducing a mood,
yeah.
This movie I think is better than like his previous movie Gretel and Hansel, just because I like the police investigation. Like, that gives that forward momentum, and it's not just, like, vibes.
Right.
It's like we have a pursuit, we know where we're going.
Right. I wanted to talk about just 2 movies real quick that I watched. I watched this movie called The Bike Riders, starring Tom Hardy and the guy that plays Elvis. He's also in Dune Part 2.
Austin Butler?
Yes. It's totally a Scorsese ripoff. It's basically Goodfellas meets Sons of Anarchy. It was fine. I think a lot of like for what it tried to do as a Scorsese ripoff, I think they nailed the feel of it. You have the overarching narrator who's narrating everything. It's like going through the time periods. You see like the birth of this like biker gang basically, but it starts off as a biker club, and it's just guys who love motorcycles, and they get together and they just talk about motorcycles. And you have Austin Butler's incel character where he's just very quiet and stoic, but he's a cool bike rider guy. And then you get into like this thing where it's like it's slowly going down this path of like being a criminal organization, and that's what you get to at the end. And it was fine. I actually enjoyed it for what it was. I think the actors, they had like Michael Shannon was in this, and he was great. You have a bunch. It was a pretty stacked cast, and all the dialogue is really good. And you have Daryl from The Walking Dead on a motorcycle again.
Like, can he get anywhere without being on a motorcycle?
He's stuck on a motorcycle. I think it's
he only lives on 2 wheels.
Yeah, it's a package deal. But he was great in it as well, and yeah, it's a pretty serviceable film. It's kind of one that's been overlooked. I don't think anybody's really seen it.
Hey, you can't have those colors on in here.
You my brother, bozo? Told you to take that stupid fucking jacket off.
You know, I'm gonna take that jacket off your back and I'm gonna wrap it around your fucking neck, and then I'm gonna choke the shit out of you.
You hear my brother? Keep wearing no colors in this neighborhood. Take that fucking jacket off.
What?
You'd have to kill me to get this jacket off.
It's already on streaming sites, I believe. So check that one out if you haven't seen it. I also watched A Quiet Place,
Day One.
Day One. It was a very tense and fun film. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I really didn't like the original. I wasn't a real big fan. I know those movies are like loved by people for whatever reason. As far as horror films go, I didn't think they were that great. But this one, you have the tension and you have the heart. It's basically this girl with cancer played by Lupita Nyong'o. I don't know how to say her last name. But she is a woman with cancer, and her whole motivation to this movie, she just wants to go get pizza because she's dying anyways. And so she makes this trek through New York to Harlem to get a slice of pizza, the last slice of pizza on earth, basically. And that's her whole motivation for the film. And it's very heartfelt. It's very quiet. It is a quiet place, but it's very like, I don't know, you just feel the tension and you feel these characters. And I actually liked it quite a bit. It's one of my top movies of the year, I will say. So yeah, if you haven't seen A Quiet Place Day One, you should definitely check it out. It's a good horror movie. It's a good creature flick.
It's from the director of Pig.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
The Nick Cage, You Stole My Truffle Pig movie.
Well, that's what this movie was missing, was some Nick Cage.
He's missing an underground society of lying pigs.
Yeah, but it was a good movie. Definitely check it out if you haven't. Had a good time with it.
No, I hear you. I'll gather them all up and get them on the bus as soon as I can. Hello? Hello?
Shit, you okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just... How's your pain?
3.
Okay. So listen, we have to head back now.
Why?
Something's happening in the city and they want us back ASAP.
But we're getting pizza first.
No, we're gonna have to rain check the pizza.
They can wait. It's just pizza.
Sam, we'll get pizza another day. Okay?
We're already in the city.
Well, then we'll order it tonight.
Just get it in the city.
What?
We're getting pizza in the city, and then we'll go back.
No, we're not getting pizza.
Yes, we are getting
Okay,
pizza.
you gotta calm down. Calm down.
Don't tell me calm down.
I don't want to argue with you. I'm your friend, okay? And
You're not my friend. You're a nurse.
One more for me. Snack Shack. It's like one of those comedies they don't make anymore. Honestly, for this first half movie, this movie did not have me in the first half.
Is this the comedy?
It's the comedy. It's the two boys that take over the snack shack at the local like pool. They're like kind of like they're late teens. I think it's like the summer before college. No, they're younger than that. They're like going into high school, I think. But anyways, they took over the snack shack, and it's just kind of like a slice of life over summer of these two friends. And they're really just kind of at the beginning.
Is it a period piece?
It is in the 90s, I believe. They're really quite obnoxious during the beginning, and it's like, what is up with these guys? I don't like them. But it really does kind of take a turn for the better in the second half, and it's really well measured in just the way that it endears these characters and sort of the movie itself to you over time. It's one of those, they don't make them like this anymore because it's just like kind of just like a straight summer comedy with some heart.
I was gonna say, you sent me the trailer for this, and I was like, when's the last time they made a movie like this? Like, what was the big one with McLovin and
Superbad?
Superbad, yeah. It's like it had that kind of vibe to it.
It's not quite Superbad. It has more heart than Superbad.
What's going on?
How was the field trip, boys?
Oh, like the best ever. Yeah, we got to hand feed the giraffe. Yeah, the sucker was eating right out of her palm.
Speaking of hands, let me smell those hands.
Jesus, what? No. Why?
Oh, are you trying to hide something from us?
Oh, he is. Big time.
No, I don't want you smelling my hands. It's weird.
It's not weird. It's just a set of hands, son.
Afraid we'll find out about the cigarettes?
Cigarettes.
Mr. Reuben King said he saw you and Moose smoking cigarettes in the VIP area of I-80 OTB this afternoon.
I-80 OTB?
It's an off-track betting parlor in Council Bluffs, Iowa, right across the river bridge from the Henry Dorley Zoo.
Smoking cigarettes and going berserk!
He emphasized berserk.
And the damn neon shirts! Awful quiet, Moose. Did you get those fancy shoes with your gambling winnings? Chrissy, go to your room.
Like, it doesn't have the thing that all those movies, Superbad included, by that director have, where everybody's just sitting there ad-libbing.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that quality. It's all very snappily written. It doesn't seem like anybody's really ad-libbing, but the two leads are really fun, and like they grow on you, even though they're like, I said in my review that it had to be a period piece, or else our protagonist would have been Crypto Bros and not like running a snack shack. Like it just would have been the worst humans on earth.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
they become kind of redeemable by the end. It's a good time, and like, yeah, as long as you're not offended by the pretty raunchy humor, you will enjoy it.
Yeah. There's I think I mentioned before in another episode, there's a few movies I'm looking forward to coming out this year. Honestly, it's been a pretty light year. Not a whole lot going on besides Dune. I don't think anything will top Dune, at least for me personally. That's one of the best movies I've ever seen. Yeah, that movie is awesome. I think Nosferatu is probably my most anticipated. I can't wait for that. Robert Eggers back with another banger. So
my most anticipated movie already came out. It was Trap. Review coming never.
I told you that movie was going to
Well,
suck.
I told you it was bad, but I still enjoyed it.
Okay, fair enough. When it comes on streaming, but
which was fine enough for me, honestly. Yeah, so let's close it out. We will return with another Scorsese, or no.
Whoa.
Another Spielberg movie. Sorry, wrong S director. Soon. See you then.
Peace.
San Diego